Okay, so I've got my perfectly square 3 pieces of fabric. Now there's a couple things I want to point out before we continue. This fabric cotton drill has a right and a wrong side. So if you're looking at this side, you can see that there is a diagonal weave in the fabric. If you look at this side, there's no diagonal weave. It's just plain. So this side with the diagonal weave here is the right side of the fabric. So now that we've worked out which side is the right side, looking for that weave, that's a really important thing to remember. Next thing, you need to work out which piece of fabric, so I've got the 3 here, do you want for the front, the back, and the pocket. So looking at mine, I've got 2 purple, 1 yellow, and I really like the dye on this one here. So I'm going to use that for my back piece. And what that means is you'll be able to see all of that pattern visible once the tote bag's finished. Then looking at my pocket, so my pocket is going to be about 2/3 of the size. So which piece do I want to be my pocket? Do I want the yellow or do I want the purple? So I'm just folding it up so I can get an idea. I actually think I want the yellow, so I have a bit more colour on the outside of my bag. So once you've worked out which piece is going to be your pocket piece, you need to work out which end do you want to use. So I need to cut a little bit of this off, and I quite like this part, so I'm going to have that at the bottom. And on the short edge of my rectangle, I'm going to trim this down a little bit. So to make your pocket smaller, you need to measure down from the edge you're going to cut off 15 centimeters. Okay, so measure down 15 centimeters at 2 points along that short edge, and then you can rule that line. Now if you've cut your material out so that it's square, you shouldn't have any problems. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off now. I can use this later to make a scrunchie or something like that. So with a big piece of fabric like that, think about another use for it so it doesn't go to waste. Okay, so now I've got my pocket piece, and I've got my front and my back piece. Here. So I'm going to mark up a few lines which will help us for when we actually sew our tote bag. So one of the first ones I'm going to do is the edge along here for when we finish this edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this ruler and I'm going to rule down. Actually, what I can do, I want to do 3 centimeters. So here I've got 3 squares, that's 3 centimeters. So I can actually put this line on my edge, which is the top of my pocket. And I can rule my line. Now this lead pencil should come out in the wash, and I'm actually ruling on the right side of the fabric. Now I'm going to work out which ends I want to be my top of my bag. So don't forget we're working with the short ends as the top. I'm going to do this lighter end as my top. So again, I put my ruler, the 3 centimeter line on the edge of the fabric, and I rule that in. And I do it again. So I'm doing this all on the right side of the fabric. And then again with this one, here is where the top of my bag is going to be. So I can rule that in. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to come back to this pocket piece and I'm going to mark a halfway line. So how I can do that is I can fold my fabric in half and I can just put my pencil in the crease here and draw a line on the fold. Then I open that up and I'm going to join those two. Okay, so now we've got that prepped. We're going to move on to the next section.